Dan, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing very well. Big day today.
This is a big day, and kind of explain to our viewers, this is the day you take the oath of office. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm pretty excited. I'm excited about being here and feel honored to be able to represent my home communities in Congress. And for the most part, I'm just anxious to get to work. This country has big problems. The current Congress, the one that's just leaving, hasn't been able to make the kind of progress that we had hoped for. So a lot of the work is being handed over to the new Congress. We start at noon today, and I'm ready to go to work.
And you say go to work. I know there's been, with the Fiscal Cliff, there's been the Fiscal Cliff. There's now the aid to Sandy victims. What do you see as being your go-to thing that you want to tackle right off the bat?
Well, obviously, we've got to deal with these long-term fiscal issues. Within a couple of months, we're going to have to come up with pretty serious solutions to those problems. What I want to do is to make sure that as we address these big-picture questions and try to bring some rationality to our financial situation here in this country, in the federal government, that places like Flint and Saginaw and Bay City and the communities that surround them are not forgotten. Too often, communities, neighborhoods, our manufacturing base, the workers, the people who go to work every day are not considered when these big picture questions are discussed. And often in the federal government, they treat these problems as if it's sort of an accounting problem, when what we really have here is the real question as to how we put America back to work and use the great productivity of the cities of mid-Michigan to do that, so that the way we get out of this economic and financial crisis is to grow our economy and do it in a way that puts people back to work and then creates the financial stability that the country really needs.
Sure, and you have been chosen to sit on the Committee on Financial Services, and how will that play into what you do next?
Well, that committee was, of course, it was my first choice. It's the committee that deals with the entire banking and financial industry, Wall Street, basically the investment side of the economy, as well as the Department of Housing and Urban Development and those programs that support community and economic development in communities, large and small. So my goal is to make sure that as we find ways to reinvest in our economy, that we do so in a way that rebuilds the great cities and towns of the 5th District of the I-75 corridor. If I can do that, then I think I will have made a good contribution to the Congress and a contribution that's really helpful to the people back home.
And what do you feel most of the people back home really do care about? And jobs is obvious, but what do you really think that the people back here, your constituents, care about most?
Well, it's certainly jobs in the economy, but I think for the most part, it's making sure that we have a future in this country that gives our kids and our grandkids the same opportunities that many of us had growing up. We do that by protecting our Great Lakes shoreline, by reinvesting in manufacturing, by supporting our great agricultural base that we have in this area. If we can create kind of optimism that helps build the middle class of America and reinvest in the middle class, I think that's what people are looking for. Obviously, getting people back to work is priority one, but we have to do that in a way that creates a long-term path towards sustainability and much more opportunity for the next generation that's coming behind us.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Congressman-elect Dan Kildee, joining us this morning. And Dan, one last quick question. Is there anywhere your constituents and people back here home can watch you take the oath of office today?
Yes, in fact, I believe it'll be broadcast on C-SPAN and probably some of the other major news networks.